Welcome to Llama's first harvest. I can see you. Can you see me? Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so great to see you guys. Can you see me? Welcome in. I can see you. Happy harvest, everybody. Can you see me? Can you see me? Yay! I was just laughing. I was actually sitting here like waiting for it to go live, and I think it was Kat who said, "We never start on time." And then somebody else said, "We're not late, it's just a sacred pause." It's funny to see you guys in the feed. Thank you so much for being here. And welcome in to our August 1st Llama's first harvest ceremony. I am so thrilled to be here with you. I want to thank you for being here. I can't believe we're here. I cannot believe we're here. So I see you, you see me. I'm so happy. Welcome in. So happy. I'm just reading all your comments. Look at that. Checking in. Check in with me. So we've got Wilmington, North Carolina. I see lots of California. Who else is checking in? Who's the furthest away today? From Los Angeles, California. It's like a contest. It's so good to see you guys. I'm so happy to be with you tonight. So yeah, check in. Let us know where you're chiming in from. Also, if you're new, if you've never been to a ceremony with us before, I would love to know that too. I'm supposed to remind you to, and I know we've been having jokes about this in the community. Look at that. We've been having jokes in the community, but I am supposed to remind you to like this and subscribe to Sage Goddess on YouTube, because that way you will find out about future events. Not my favorite thing to tell you. I'm not a like and subscribe kind of girl, but you should know we have a YouTube channel here. It'd be great if you wanted to subscribe to the channel so that you would be receiving all of our future events too. I do free online YouTube full moon ritual every month. I do free online YouTube new moon ritual every month, and I'm with you for every high holiday, including tonight. Look at that roll call in. Look at that. Rhonda's new. You've got hurricane warnings. Yes, you do. So we'll send a little burst of calming energy to all the storms that are approaching. Look at that. We have New Zealand in the house. Love it. Binghamton, New York. No way. My husband, I've been to Binghamton. I've spent some time in Binghamton. My husband's grandmother lived in Binghamton. My husband's from upstate New York. So his mom lives in Syracuse, but his grandmother was in Binghamton. So anyway, what a small world we are, right? Thanks, you guys. I'm so happy to be with you. So tonight's a big night. You ready? I've got a lot of things to tell you, so I'm going to dive right in. Tonight is what we call Llamas, okay? And tonight is the first of 3 harvests. So August 1st is the first harvest, and Llamas is the earliest of the 3 harvests. I don't know if you are a gardener. I am. I grow fruits and vegetables and lettuce and all kinds of things for the baby bunnies that have been visiting my yard lately. And so if you're a farmer, I come from farmers, right? My especially my dad's side, they had vineyards on the island of Crete long before I was born. Long before the war, actually. So if you grow things, then you know that a lot of the fruits and vegetables are not quite there yet. They still need a little more time, some more than others. So our primary harvest is always on September 21st, which is called Maiden. And then the third harvest, the last harvest, is actually at Halloween on a holiday called Samhain, which in Gaelic means summer's end. Samhain means summer's end. And so I celebrate all 3 with you live. So we'll have ceremony tonight, we'll have ceremony in the 3rd week of September, and then we'll have ceremony, I think it's the night before Samhain, to celebrate that last harvest. And then after that last harvest, do you know what happens to nature? Remember that all of our magic, right, what we call magic, really started, all of our mythology really started because our ancient ancestors needed a way to describe the change in seasons. And so they sort of ascribed all of the change of season and change of temperature and the fruiting and the flowering. They gave those energies almost a personification, right? So they ascribed it to goddesses and gods and to mythological journeys. Carolyn's got peppers. That's very exciting. Yeah, so Kitty said in Florida, her garden's already burned up for the year. Interesting. So it depends on where you live too, right? It sleeps. nighty-night, to use Joanne's phrase, right? So in wintertime, after that third harvest, we turn the wheel toward winter in the Northern Hemisphere, and we rest. And so tonight we're working with a goddess named Persephone. And this is an art rendering of Persephone. And Persephone is the youngest of the three goddesses that we are working with. In terms of her energy, we call it Maiden energy. Next month, we are working with Demeter, who is her mother. And I'm going to tell you the whole mythology tonight, and then I'll walk you back through it next month. I love the high holidays too. It's such an exciting time, and the low holidays as well. I'm a holiday person, so anything we can celebrate, I'm here for it. So tonight we're working with, and I love this candle so much, with Persephone. And then next month we're working with her mother Demeter. And then in October we're working with a goddess named Hecate, who actually, when Persephone was abducted, and I'll tell you that story in just a minute, it was Hecate, who is the Greek goddess of the gateway between the world of the living and the world of the dead. She minds that boundary, if you will. Hecate is actually the one who helped Demeter find her daughter. And her daughter had gone on to become queen of the underworld. And so that's the story I'm going to tell you tonight from Greek mythology. And so tonight we're working with Persephone. In September we'll be working with her mother Demeter. And then in October we're working with her fairy godmother Hecate, who was sort of a, Hecate minds the gateway between the worlds. She also minded that relationship between the mother and the daughter as the mother went searching for her daughter. And a lot of you love Hecate too, so we'll talk all about her in October. She'll be our final gateway goddess for these seasonal ceremonies that we're working. So we've got a lot to talk about. I'm going to switch my camera really quick. One of the images of Persephone that I found in my preparation for tonight is this incredible art piece right here. I'm going to tell you who the artist is, and then I'll tell you, this is from fineartamerica.com. I love art. Art inspires me. When I'm depressed, I look at art. When I'm needing ideas and inspiration, I look at art. Art always feeds me. I'm not an artist, so that's probably ironic. But I do find that looking at beautiful art representations, especially of mythological and goddess energies, really inspires me. The artist of this piece, her name is Patricia Ariel. Patricia, like Patricia, and then Ariel, Ariel. And you can find her work on fineartamerica.com. I bought this piece because it moved me, and so I thought actually buying a physical representation of it would also give Patricia Ariel a financial gift. I like the idea of energetic exchange. And I'll tell you why I love this art image so much. And you can compare and contrast it to, what did I do with the candle for tonight? To our historical art representation of Persephone. Because there's two stories of Persephone. And I want to tell you both the stories tonight because I think it actually is really important for us to think about. And I want you to almost put yourself in Persephone's shoes tonight as I tell you the mythology. And I'll tell you why. This first harvest tonight, and I almost want you to start to drop into the feeling and the energy. Oh, I'm so glad Alexis and Hannah and Claire are all here with us. I want you to start to drop into the feeling of the energy now. The feeling of this first harvest is what we call maiden energy. And that's not masculine or feminine. It's just the idea of your crops are in their maiden phase, right? They're just about to grow and bloom, but they're just getting there. And maiden energy, the energy of a young person, right? Before they have children, before they even permanently partner, right? When they're still exploring and connecting and desiring. This maiden energy that we're talking about tonight, you have it within you. I've already passed my maiden phase, right? There's maiden, mother, and crone. Maiden is before the childbearing years, mother is during the childbearing years, and then crone are the after childbearing years, right? So I'm past my childbearing years. So I'm in the crone phase. I can't have children anymore. which is great. I'm celebrating that. Please don't feel sorry for me. I made 2 great kids. I'm sort of moving forward now. So I'm celebrating being in that like end of mother, beginning of crone phase, which is a phase of wisdom. And it's also the phase of eldership, right, where you give back. Now you've got some wisdom to share, and so you give back. But here's what I want to tell you. This is still within you. I mean, I don't know about you, but there's part of me that feels like the eternal maiden. That part of me, do you know that part of you? Do you remember? Are you in touch with that part of you? Doesn't matter what phase you're in. You might be in the high mother phase, right? Maybe you have babies or infants but you know what? That me is not that far away. And so part of what I want to remind you tonight is no matter where you are and what phase you're in of your life and your process, that maiden phase, that youthful, desirous, passionate, rebellious, intense, that phase, right, has so much medicine for you still. And I'll tell you too, I think it's part of the secret to good parenting is that I haven't lost track of her. So when I see my daughter coming into her maidenhood right now, which is what's happening, I can track her because it wasn't that long ago, and I can still call up that energy and work with that energy. And then next harvest, we'll be working with the mother energy. And even if you're past your mothering years like me, maybe there's something in it. It doesn't matter whether you have children, had children or not. Mothering is just that phase of your life when you are capable of yielding life, right? And you can be a mother to a human, you can be a mother to your next door neighbor, you can be a mother to fur children, or all of the above, right? I'm a mother to a lot of people who are not my biological children. I show up as a mom to a lot of people. Sometimes I show up as a mom to people who are older than me. And that's a huge honor, when someone who is ahead of you in chronological years will let you tend to them and look after them and love them and be present for their wholeness and their well-being and want to meet their needs. I think that's a really beautiful thing too. So, and all the fur babies, right? I mean, fur babies are children, in case you don't know that. At least in my book, they are children. Sometimes they're more difficult than human children to raise. So anyway, and then at the last harvest, we're going to get into our crone phase. And I love the idea that maybe some of you in your maiden phase are going to dig into that crone. Because let me tell you something, croning is fun. Croning is the actualization, the activation of your deepest embodied wisdom in this lifetime. And I'm going to say a bad word, ready? Put the earmuffs on the children. The crone phase is kind of the end to your bullshit. That's what I'm learning. It's kind of when you stop BSing yourself too. It's like you just, I guess because you're coming to the later years of your life, you just have less tolerance for that kind of stuff. And so that leads you to enjoy your life more because you don't get bogged down in the silly stuff that used to bother you in your 20s and 30s and 40s. You kind of let go of some of that, and so it allows you to show up to your life in a more, what's the word? What do you think, crone friends? Are you letting go of the BS and showing up as your fully embodied wisdom? I love the concept of that, right? So then we get more serious about the work of life because we realize that, the clock's ticking, and as it always is, but we become more aware of it at that phase. And so, it's exactly right. Don George said, no time for tedious crap. And we also have less time for inauthenticity. In my life, and this may resonate with you too, I would much rather have someone just show me who they are and be real and be a little edgy or a little curmudgeonly or a little, than like put on a show. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in the show. I'm not putting on a show for you tonight. I don't want you to put on a show. I like real. And I think the further along our path we get, the more confident we become. Like when we're young, we're afraid to be real because what if people don't like us? And then later you're like, who cares? You kind of get to that place, right? That's right. Well, we've seen a lot, right? The big message for tonight, at least for me, and I'm gonna breathe into this for you too, if you're open to it. The big message for tonight is hope. Hope. This has been an insanely bizarre year for most of us. If it's been a really normal year for you, I would like to come and live where you are. And maybe you can tell me where that is, and then I can just move in with you. For me, this has been a very unique year. And so, but it's very important to remember that even if you start to feel like you're losing your confidence or your faith or your trust or your grounding or your whatever, the most important thing to hold on to right now in your life, and I think this holiday is all about it, is hope. The harvest is nothing but hope, because the harvest reminds you that nature perseveres, that love wins. It just does. And so if you want to know what's getting me through, how I'm managing, it's hope. Because I have faith. And the main thing I look to when I'm losing my hope or my faith is nature. Has it been weird but good? I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that. I love that. Ooh. I love that. What is it Majikwa said? It's very beautiful. She said that she doesn't so much work with Maiden Mother Crone. She works with another model that's not tied to reproduction. But that's actually what I was getting at too in what I was sharing is, I don't think Maiden Mother Crone, I don't take the mother to mean reproduction. So I just want to be really clear about that too from my own perspective. I have physically reproduced, but that doesn't mean that that's what that concept represents. What it represents is the stage of life when that is, for most women biologically possible. So we sort of stage it by that as a time frame. But women are in their mother phase when they're giving birth to new projects, when they're giving birth to a business, when they're giving birth to whatever it is in their life that comes from them uniquely, and it doesn't need to come from them biologically. So I think that's really important to share too. Yeah, some of the most powerful mothers in my life do not have biological children, but they have honed that mothering skill through all of the different types of relationships where they show up as that mature, mothering, nurturing figure, and that can happen in lots of different ways. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to smudge. I'm going to burn some white sage for you and for me too. And I want to invite you just to roll your shoulders back. You know, these holidays are such a sacred time of connection, and you being here, I think, is such a beautiful commitment to yourself and your practice and your energy. Woo. That's right. Anything that you create comes from your sacral chakra. Anything that you create. And you know what I love, and I'm continuously inspired by, not everybody creates the same way. And I think that's really beautiful. And we can learn so much from each other and the different ways that we choose to manifest creativity. I'm continuously inspired by people and the different models and modalities that they respond to and that they embody. So just passing that beautiful smoke around our sacred space. You know, when we work with white sage, it isn't just about clearing energy. It's about something called setting space. And it's about inviting in energies to support our ceremony and our meditation and our sacred practice. And so it's partly about what we're releasing and letting go of, but it's also what we are inviting in and creating space for in ceremony. And it starts to shift the energy of the space. And the room that you're in with me, because you're in my home right now, is my crystal room. So this room has every tool that I've worked with for the past 32 years. So there's a lot of energy in this room. But even if there wasn't that kind of energy in this room, as soon as you begin to work with these particular herbs, and in particular I find copal, white sage, palo santo, they shift the energy in the space to really prepare us for ceremony. So good. Take a nice deep breath. Okay. Whew. So let me tell you the story of Persephone and Demeter. That will get us ready for tonight, and then I'll walk you through the tools that we're going to be using, and we will also talk about our incense that we're going to be making tonight. I did grab a mortar and pestle. You don't have to have a mortar and pestle. You can use your hands and a little glass dish. You can mix your incense tonight right into your jar if you want, so you don't have to even have an additional tool. But I'm going to be blending my oils and my herbs together, and so this is a pretty traditional tool for that purpose. It didn't come with your kit, so a lot of you have this tool, but if you don't, like I said, if you want to take a second to grab a bowl and a spoon or something to mix with, that might be good if you're going to be making incense alongside me. Okay, so ancient Greek mythology, we're going all the way back, and there's a much longer story to this that if you're my student you probably know, but I'm going to give you the brief version tonight for our purposes. So in ancient Greek mythology, Demeter is the goddess of the earth. Think of her as the sort of Greek corollary to Gaia. And Demeter in particular is a goddess of the grain. That was her focus. She was also the goddess who represented the crop of hops in ancient Greece. And fermented hops actually is a very powerful intoxicant and was used in ceremony. And so the ceremonies where they would work with fermented hops, which is part of what's called the Yera Odos, which is a sacred ceremony that involves Demeter. That's the longer story we won't be getting into tonight. But so she governs all of those crops, including their fermentation, which sort of creates an intoxicant to help you have a multi-dimensional experience. And so that was part of ancient Greek mythology as well. So she is the earth mother, she's the grain goddess, and she had a daughter named Persephone. Persephone in Greek mythology is not known as Persephone, she's known as Kore. And I love etymology, I love the study of words. If you've been with me for a long time, that's my academic background. And so Kore, K-O-R-E, in ancient Greece is how you'll hear Persephone referred to. Now Kore and the word Kora have the same root. And then the Spanish word for heart is corazón, right? And so there's this idea that the daughter, the child, is the heart of the parent. Isn't that beautiful? It's one of these things I love tracing, like where the words come from and what they mean. So you'll hear her referred to as Persephone and also as the Kore or the Kora, the center of her heart space. And so this was her daughter. And one day, Persephone was out, she walked past the river and down the hills, and she was playing and she was running and she was picking flowers. And all of a sudden there was an incredible chariot. A modern day poet, described this chariot as a black Cadillac. You know, like a fully kind of decked out Cadillac, but in ancient Greek mythology, it was a chariot. And so a massive chariot pulls up alongside Persephone while she's picking all of these flowers and plucks her, right? Picks her up. In the chariot she goes. The chariot belonged to Hades, who is the god of the underworld, right? Hades is the god of the underworld who receives the souls and decides where they go for the afterlife. And so, now that is one version of the story, right? Poor Persephone is just out picking flowers, and then this big scary man comes along in a car and picks her up and escorts her away, and all of a sudden she's gone. That is the sort of the traditional story. That's the story I was originally told, okay? And so her mother, right, where's my daughter? And so Persephone, as a mother would, right, goes a little bit crazy, okay? She is hunting all over the globe for her daughter. She is weeping. She is, I mean, depending on the tale and the translation that you read, I mean, she's beating her chest with her fist. She's pounding the earth. Where is my daughter? And so she can't find her. And so finally she goes to all of the gods and goddesses. One particular goddess comes to her assistance, the goddess Hecate, who guards between the worlds of the living and the dead. And she said, I will help you find your daughter. And so Hecate discovers that Persephone is in the underworld with Hades, okay? Now, back it up, okay? Part of the myth may be, the legend goes, that Zeus actually gifted Persephone to Hades. Made a commitment that one day Hades could have Persephone. Apparently did not tell Demeter, did not tell Persephone that minor detail. That could be an issue. That's one story too. Okay. So Hades says, okay, you can have her back. But before he gives her back, he hands her the pomegranate. Okay. The pomegranate is one of the fruit of the underworld. And so before Persephone leaves the underworld, she eats 6 seeds. Each one of those seeds represents a month that she will have to spend with Hades in the underworld. Okay, and then she can come back and be with her mother for the other 6 months of the year. And so this legend, by the way, explains winter, because the theory is on September 21st. So Persephone's not going down tonight. Right now, this time of year, they would have been preparing for Persephone's descent. Next month, she'll actually go down to the underworld. And then what happens to the earth in the Northern Hemisphere between September and March? All the leaves fall off the trees, right? Everything goes kind of dark. This was Demeter's revenge. She decided to plunge the world, the planet, into darkness as her revenge for losing her daughter to the underworld. Okay, are you ready? There's another side to this story, if you're open to hearing it. Does she look like she's really scared? You know, not to me. She doesn't. The other side of the story could be, if you're willing to hold space for it, that Persephone knew exactly what she was doing. That perhaps she had foreseen herself as becoming queen of the underworld. That perhaps she had been trying to integrate her light and her shadow. That perhaps she was rebelling against her mother. That perhaps she wanted to go and to be in this place with this man and have this experience. That perhaps her desire led her to him. And perhaps she was not a prisoner down there. Perhaps she was sort of bi-coastal, you know what I mean? She wintered in Florida, kind of thing. Because for 6 months out of the year, she got to be, right? And what if that wasn't a trap, right? And I'm saying this to you tonight because there is real value, I think, right, in your wild. There's real value in your desire. There's real value in your edginess. There's real value in exploring your shadow, which is what we spend the next 6 months of the year really doing. And so was she ripped from her mother against her will, or did she want to explore something beyond what she had known, and actually was quite courageous, right? What I love about this myth is there's no right answer. But I do like to try to teach you both sides, because I think a lot of us have to look and say, are you really living your desire right now? Or are you repressing it or denying it or staying safe because this is what you've always done and this is what people say you should do and good girls this and good boys that, right? I don't know. When I started to embrace this shadow in my own life, right? The parts of me that were challenging or that I'd gotten in trouble for as a kid, you know, my edginess, my playfulness, my grit, my sexuality, my sensuality. When I started to explore that, a lot of my creativity emerged at the same time. And Sage Goddess was really born of that. I think this had always been inside of me, but I had been doing really intense shadow work 10, 15 years ago that kind of surfaced a little bit more of this side. And I started to really look at this other representation of Persephone and realize sometimes you have to dip in to that wild child who doesn't know better. And sometimes you have to be careful, but sometimes it's okay to let her run the show a little bit. Sometimes she looks at me in the mirror, you guys, and is like, God, you're boring. Like, what happened to that? You know, like I literally have moments where I'm like, I know, I know I'm boring. Oh God, I've gotten so boring. And she'll just, I mean, I literally can see her in my eyes in the mirror just going like, no. Now, I didn't play it safe. I've never played it safe in my whole life. I like to take risks. I like to gamble. If you take me to Vegas, I will keep you up all night long at those tables. I like to play. I like to explore. I like to push the edges. I like to test the boundaries. I mean, I like all of that stuff. And so I think there's real value in that, because here's what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to get to the later years of your life when it's harder to play, when it's harder to edge, when it's harder to explore, when it's harder to indulge, and say, I wish I had cut loose a little bit more. I wish I had, gotten on the chariot, for lack of a better phrase. Does that make sense? So tonight, here's your permission slip. Ready? I'm a little bit more Persephone dark tonight. You can be a little bit more Persephone light. If you like the idea that she, big bad scary man or whatever against my will, if that's the part of the myth that reaches you, work with that Persephone tonight. Craft your incense from that place tonight. If you like the kind of like this other side of it, which is what's always resonated with me, then dabble in that tonight a little bit. But don't let your fire go out just because other people don't like it, or you're not sure it's okay, or people might not like you or judge you or whatever. And maybe that's my crone self speaking to you. Don't give it up for any other reason than you want to give it up. Get in the chariot, we're going raging, right? Nathan's ready to go in the chariot. I'll go in the chariot. Okay, so we're gonna play tonight. I'm glad you guys are down for this. Do you guys have any questions before we really dive into the work of the evening? We're gonna make some incense. I'm gonna use the rain disc with you. I'm gonna drum a little bit too. Woo! Play. And playing isn't bad, right? Playing is just figuring out who you are. Do you know who you are? All the parts of you. The good, the easy, the hard, the bad, the challenging, the rebellious, the fun, the boring, the studious, do you know all those sides of you? If you don't know them yet, we got work to do. Okay, let's talk about our tools. So this is our split screen. Hopefully you're enjoying it. We have our candle for tonight, which is our Lammas candle. I've got an incense burner here with some charcoal because we're gonna light some stuff. I like to burn things. We have Aurora perfume. I'll walk you through the notes in that in just a second, or I can tell you right now. Aurora perfume is jasmine grandiflorum, pomegranate, and rose de mai. Then we're going to make incense using our 3 packets of herbs. These are all sacred to Persephone. We're working with myrtle, rosebud, and pau d'arco, and I'll talk to you about each one of those herbs as well, and why we chose those. Each one of these, by the way, represents passion and positivity. This is an incense I want you to burn all the way from tonight until we see each other again in mid-September. This is your passion, positivity, and playfulness blend. This is the big chariot's coming and I'm getting on it blend. Unless you choose to embody the other iteration of Persephone, which you totally can. That's your choice tonight. And then we're, as I'm drumming and playing tonight, I'm going to have you hold your yellow aventurine sun, because these are the days of high summer. And the reason I'm having you work with this particular stone tonight is this is going to be your talisman of optimism, because when the sun rests in a couple of months, every time you look at this, I want you to remember that you charged it in ceremony with these energies, again, of positivity and playfulness and power tonight. You charged it during the height of summer at Lammas, or in August, right, depending on when you get your tool. We still have the kit in stock, so if you're loving everything and you didn't see it when it came out, you can still get yours. And then your gift for tonight, and I'm going to start using mine after tonight, I wanted to wait till you got yours too, is your feather. And this feather represents the chariot. So every time you work with this feather, across your herbs as you're clearing space, I want you to think of this as your reminder that within you is that edge, and that edge is yours to play with. Okay. Yep, get on the chariot. You got to do the thing. Are you ready to have some fun? Okay. So I want you to roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time. It's time for ceremony. I've been so excited today just to gather and do this. Ceremony for me is very healing. Opening the circle, calling in the guides and the guardians, and just connecting in with your own energy and also the energy of the community is so fueling. So yeah, if you don't have the stone, any of the golden stones, right, the solar plexus, so citrine would be really great. Any of the sacral stones, I'd love to see you working with carnelian tonight, which would be really good too. And then Mukite jasper actually is Persephone's stone. And at the end of our time tonight, I'm going to give away a couple pieces. I'm going to anoint these tonight with our perfume, and then I'm going to gift some of these away. This is the stone of everlasting youth and beauty. It's called Mukite jasper from Australia, and this is Persephone's stone. So that's an alternative for you to work with too. So roll your shoulders back, call your energy into present time. You can start holding your sun if you have it, just to sort of connect in with its energy. And we want to begin by calling in the guides and the guardians of the East tonight, energies of air, welcoming in this new turn of the wheel toward fall here in the Northern Hemisphere. You are turning toward spring, of course. You're halfway through winter and spring in the Southern Hemisphere. And so guardians of air, we ask you to come in tonight and to uplift us, to help us see things from a new and elevated perspective, to help us connect with our breath. We welcome you into the space with gratitude. And to the guides and guardians of the South, the fire gateway, we call upon you tonight. You know, the season of summer is the season of fire. Did you know that? So we are in the season of fire right now, in the season of Leo too, which is a fire sign. And the Lion's Gate is open, so that's all fire energy. So guardians of the fire gateway, we see you tonight. Thank you for energies of transformation and courage. Thank you for helping to speed up our heartbeat a little bit and connect us with desire and passion and curiosity and playfulness tonight in the South. We give thanks for your presence and welcome you. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, which is the water gateway, thank you so much for energies of purification and flow tonight. Really feel those Western guardians. I live right on the edge of the cliff here near the Pacific Ocean, and like literally all day it's like you can smell the ocean air where I live. It's so beautiful. And so just calling in those energies tonight of the big oceans of our planet, which remind you of how small you are, right? Water reminds you to surrender, let go of fear, and just float a little bit. So we call upon the guardians of the Western Gateway to help us float with ease through the times ahead. And then to the guides and the guardians of the North, energies of strength and stability, patience and perseverance. In the North, we learn to slow down, not to rush, just to take our time. That everything will be okay. It's the energy of the North. And so we welcome in the guides and the guardians of the North tonight to slow it down, help us to take it easy, not to rush the process, but to trust the process, surrender to the process in the North. We welcome you with gratitude. And with that, our circle is open. Yeah, and each one of you where you are has incredible rivers and lakes and streams. Like Allie was talking about the Mississippi River in Minnesota. And so it's really beautiful to also think about your own waterways. You know, when you guys post pictures of where you are, I always feel like I want to teleport to be closer to you because where you are is so beautiful. Okay, so we're going to make our incense first, and then we're going to burn it and drum a little bit. You guys ready? Yeah, if you want to get the kit, it'll be there afterward. So not to worry. Just try to be here now and be present. It'll be there when we're done. Okay, so I'm just opening up my packets. I'm going to turn to the other camera so you can see what I'm doing. I love having this camera to be able to show you. My son set it up, and I'm just so proud of him for doing that. Okay, so I'm going to light my candle. When we light our candles, remember that we call in the energy of fire, the fire element. I just refilled my torch with butane. Come on, torch. There we go. And so it's a physical manifestation of the energy of the north. When we work with our crystals, this represents the south, or the north, with, sorry, the candle is south, the stone is north. And then when we work with our herbs, we call in the energies of east, because herbs are air. And then when we work with our essential oils and our perfumes, we call in the energies of west, which is water. So that's why I do all the different stones and crystals and tools, because they all have a different elemental manifestation. So I'm going to take a little bit of Aurora perfume. Again, it's rose and jasmine, these big flowers, right, to support you, but also to represent blooming and blossoming and becoming, all the maiden energy. And so I'm going to put a little bit on my wrist for what I do. This is how I anoint with our oils. It feels good too. A little bit at my third eye for what I know. And then you got to find your ankles. A little bit at your ankles for where you go. And when you anoint at the third eye, the wrist, and the ankles, you cover all the meridians, the energy lines in your body. And then the rest of your perfume, you can consider adding in as part of your incense blend tonight. I'm actually going to take just a little bit of the oil, and I'm going to anoint the crystals that I'm going to be gifting. So just a little bit on each stone so that you, whoever wins these pieces, it's the stone of Persephone and then all of the oils of Persephone. Crystals love being anointed with oils. They really, really do. Okay, so let's talk about each one of our herbs. Let's start with Pau d'Arco bark. Pau d'Arco is a long-standing and largely indigenous medicine. And it does a lot of different things, but for our purposes tonight, not only does it enhance fertility, which is why it's a maiden-oriented herb, but it's really about positivity and presence. Pau d'Arco is about showing up and embodying the most optimistic, positive perspective you can in your life. So I want you to take just a little bit of that, or as much as you want. If you want to add the whole blend in, I'm going to make my whole packet because I'm going to be using this incense a lot in my own work. Whenever I start a new project, this is going to be the incense blend that I burn. And I've got a podcast I'm going to be creating. I'm designing new classes for 2021. So I've got a lot of fertility work right now. I'm not trying to have any more babies, but I definitely am having like project babies. It's spelled P-A-U-D'-A-R-C-O. It's Pau d'Arco. So in it goes. And that's where you at. That's what it looks like. It's so fun being able to show you everything more clearly, but still be here with you. And then myrtle is actually one of the primary herbs of the new moon. Myrtle is also massive money magic. There's myrtle essential oil in almost every Sage Goddess Prosperity perfume. So this is abundance, prosperity, flow, and again, also fertility with myrtle. And then it's also visioning new beginnings, new possibilities, because it's a new moon herb. That's right. So I'm kind of mushing it up a little bit. I'm going to kind of work it in with my mortar and pestle as well. But now you can see the blend with the myrtle and the Pau d'Arco bark. And then we had to sweeten it with a floral, and it was sort of, I think, obvious why we chose rose. The rose buds, to me, always represent the maiden, you know, and then when they fully open, and that's kind of more the mother. And so these are like little rose buds and little mini roses. It's very maiden-like. And so this represents the energy of beginnings. Do you ever think about what you would go back and say to your younger self? Think about that. My daughter's name is Rose, by the way, because it's a long story, but my grandmother, who was my most powerful spiritual teacher, her middle name was Roselle. And I wanted to find a way to honor her. And Zoe is so much like my grandmother, it's crazy. I mean, like, my grandmother didn't survive to see her, but she would have just loved Zoe. So yeah, do you ever think about that? I would tell her, you know, I'm really proud of actually my younger self because she made good choices. For the most part, I've made pretty good choices in my life. I mean, I've screwed up too, but I think I would tell my younger self not to care so much about what other people think. I always cared too much about, I mean, not like the people who matter, like your friends and family, but I think I just cared about what everybody thought. It must be my Libra rising or something. I think I would tell her not to do that. Yeah. I love that. Larissa's daughter's middle name is Rose too. Isn't that cool? Look at your advice to yourself, right? Do the things you want. It's okay to say no. Right? So I want you to take a minute. You ready? Look at me. This is serious. I'm going to do it with you. Ready? I want you to take a minute and take your own advice. Close your eyes if you need to. Take the advice. Can you do it? It's easier said than done, isn't it? So I'm kind of grinding up my herbs in my mortar and pestle, and when we're making magical incense like we are tonight, I want you to use your breath. Your breath is your life force, and it's an important part of ceremonial incense crafting to add your breath into the blend. And you can decide what each breath means. So this breath is for authenticity. It smells really good, by the way. Did you smell it? Even without oils, it smells really good. Isn't it funny how many of us named our daughter's middle name Rose? I mean, it says something, doesn't it? Look at Debbie. Look at Melissa. Right? Larissa and me. Okay, this breath is going to be for rebellion. I'm still rebellious. I mean, I'm turning 47 in a week and I'm still a rebel. So I want you to see what it's looking like. You see how it's starting to break up just a little bit? I mean, it's not going to become tiny, tiny, tiny town. I'm not trying to make it, you know, into a powder. You'd want to use a food processor to do that. I'm just trying to sort of break it down and release the oils from the herbs. And now what I want you to do, you want to do one more breath? And you can use whatever herbs you have or whatever you like. Let your intuition sort of guide you. I'm telling you, look at Linda Hubble and Jay Solster. It's just kind of a cool thing. Okay. One more breath. Ready? This is a breath of permission. Doesn't permission feel good? Permission to be who you are. Yeah, it feels real good. I'm telling you guys, I'm blown away by the feed tonight, and honestly really excited. That's just more proof that we come from the same hive. We are bees from the same hive. Okay, now I'm going to take my entire dram of Aurora and I'm going to add it, and I pour it clockwise. When you add essential oils to herbs, it actually really helps it burn as an incense. You don't have to use the whole thing if you don't want to. Don't waste any. It's very important that you don't waste it. And while I'm getting ready here, I'm going to torch up my charcoal disc. so that we can burn some incense here. I'm so excited to burn what we've made. All right, you see that crackling and popping? So now I'm going to take my mortar and pestle. Oh, it smells so good. This does not get any better than that. I'll show you the texture in just a second. You're going to love what essential oils do for herbs in an incense blend, because they bind everything together, and then what happens with the scent, it just takes it over the top. Because if you have a charcoal disc and you have a little bit left in your dram, put just a drop on there. Did you see that? Instant incense. Instant incense. Isn't that cool? And Carly's birth flower is a rose. Would you like Aurora perfume in a regular bottle? I kind of do too, so if you guys are down with that. We have some bottles of just Aurora on the website, so if you want just the dram of oil, you can get it by itself tonight when we're done. Okay, check this out. I think you're gonna really think this is cool. Do you see how it completely transformed it? Remember how it was like much thicker and bigger and kind of fluffy? Now it's made it into like a very compact incense, and then all you have to do is just take a pinch, and I'm talking tiny pinch, onto your charcoal disc and let it go. When you mix herbs with essential oils, it is the best incense you will ever use. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to do this off camera, but this bottle is going to be used to house this incense. So if you made it in your bottle tonight, you're all done. I'm going to have to get a little spoon and spoon mine out. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing it with my fingers, and that's going to get weird. But this bottle was designed for you to put your incense in when you're done. And that is a green zebra jasper cabochon on the front, by the way, which is the stone of the wild woman. So again, this is your permission incense. This is your do it incense, right? Seize the day, seize the moment, be like Persephone. Again, big shout out to the artist of this piece, Patricia Ariel. I'm in love with her work. She just inspired me so much. Okay. So we've got herbs burning. We've got, we have our incense going. I want you to take your sun. Where did I put mine? There he is. I want you to get your stone sun and hold it. Oh, I love you guys. So glad you're here tonight. Thank you for being here, especially on a Saturday night. I really appreciate you showing up. So I want you to imagine that you are Persephone right now, okay? And you're by, you pass the river, you pass the water's edge, and you're looking at all the beautiful flowers. And all of a sudden, you are met with a noise from behind. What is that noise from behind? Just close your eyes if that feels good. That noise from behind is the sound of destiny calling. The big Cadillac. Woo! Destiny calling. And do you remember how to say yes to the call of your soul? One day, do you ever think about the stories that'll be told about you? mind every now and then. I want to be remembered as one who said yes. To the weird, to the crazy, to the fun. Yes to the party, yes to the adventure. Yes to letting the hair down. Yes to risk. You want to get dancing? You just stand up and start moving your booty. It's good. We're not dancing enough right now. And let it go. You want to cry? Cry. You want to dance? Dance. You want to yell? You want to scream? You want to laugh? Let this energy through, you guys, I'm telling you. We don't have a lot of these occasions. And that inner maiden in you. She's looking at you. She's like, we got energy, we got room to run. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are. This is for you. Yeah. Oh, the stories, right? She was wild. She was ambitious. She was curious. She was fun. She was alive. You don't want them to look back and say, she followed every rule really well. Maybe you do. That's not even a chance for me, so I've had to give up on that fantasy. Nobody's going to say, wow, Athena was really good at math and always on time and followed every rule. That's not going to be the story. Right? She was, he was, they were. Say it. Say it out loud. What does your wild look like? Right? Authentic. A healer. An explorer. An archaeologist of the soul. Passionate, fearless. I hope they say that I made a lot of mistakes. Honestly. She made a lot of mistakes. And you know why? Because that will mean I tried. The only way to make a mistake is if you try. Get it, Nico? I'm so with you. I'm with you. I'm celebrating you tonight. And you need this. Connect in. And love yourself tonight. Every bit of your flaws, your mistakes, I have 1,000 flaws. I could alphabetize them for you. I could draw pictures of them for you. But we aren't just our flaws. We aren't just our mistakes. We're everything, right? And take that ride. That bad boy coming for you, going, hey, little lady. And I'm like, what you got? And he's like, well, when I take this Cadillac downtown, you can be my queen. And I'm like, okay. But my mom's gonna be mad. We'll talk to your mom later. That's right. Let it go, you guys. You'll be so thankful later. You'll say, I'm so glad. I stopped caring. I let go. I forgave myself for all the dumb stuff I did. I'm so glad. Later on, you're going to play it and dance around your bedroom. And you know what? I wish I could join you. Because I would. I would have a Magic Man dance party with you. So I need you to take that yellow aventurine sun, blow on it if you will, lick it if you must. I won't judge you. Crying during ceremony is always a good idea. Do you know why? Do you know why? Your body can only release energy 3 ways. You can cry, you can shake, well, 4 ways. You can sweat, or you can burp, or yawn. I guess there's 5 ways. I yawn. It doesn't mean I'm bored, it means I'm releasing energy. But some people cry, and those tears are full of saline. And did you know that the saline in your tears when you're happy or in ceremony is completely different than the saline in your tears when you are grieving? Really interesting, isn't it? Let it go, let it go. If I was with you, I would just dry your tears and keep on drumming. So I want you to take this, and I want you to hold it. I'm going to hold it in my left hand, cover it with my right hand. And I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to take a snapshot of this moment. Yeah, farting too. It's true. I would rather yawn. Yawning is my thing. You ready? I want you to take a snapshot of this moment. And I want you to focus all of your energy into the face of that sun, or whatever stone you're charging or activating tonight. I'm going to hold these other crystals too. And I want you to remember what it feels like right now to be in this place. You're confident, you're excited, right? You're comforted, you're at peace. You're authentic, you're courageous in this moment. All of these energies, give some adjectives to this, right? Laughing too is true. Give some adjectives to this. Courageous, confident, empowered, strong, curious, playful, sexy, naughty, whatever energies have come up for you in the course of this meditation. And I want you to lock those energies into this sun so that 2 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, when you want to come back to this moment and you think, I just need to tap back into that energy stream, I need to realign with those frequencies, it'll be as easy for you as just picking this up, holding it in your hands, and allowing the energy to come through your hands, up over your shoulders, through your central channel, and all the way through your energy field. That's how crystals work. They each have a unique frequency. And this one is being attuned to and programmed to, because this is quartz, this is yellow aventurine. So you are programming this crystal right now with me to hold this frequency for the whole rest of your life, to connect to this energy. It's my piece too, so I'm doing the same thing. To Persephone. And the choices she made. And the rules that she broke. And the courage it took to live into an authentic expression of her maidenhood. And to Demeter, in honor of a mother's love. And we'll explore more of that side of the energy next month when we focus on her. Woo! That was yummy, wasn't it? I'm going to put a little bit more of my incense on my charcoal. And I'll split the screen again so you can see. Just adding a little bit in, since that charcoal's still cooking, I just want more of that magic. And send a little bit your way too. And this is how you use your fan, right? You just sort of move the smoke and direct it. And so beginning to release the energies of this ceremony for tonight. Giving thanks to the guardians of the north tonight. For again, their energies of peace, patience, and presence, teaching us to slow down, take our time, relax, resting in a deeper sense of grace and wisdom in the north. we're so thankful for their presence, and we release them with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the West, energies of purification, renewal, release, flow, surrender, nurturing in the West. So grateful for that connection tonight. We release the guardians of the West with gratitude. Guardians of the South in the house with fire and passion and desire and connection and strength in the South, curiosity in the South, playfulness in the South, naughtiness in the South. We welcomed all those energies in tonight. Now we release them with gratitude as well. And the guides and the guardians of the East, we thank you and release you with gratitude. Thank you for your spaciousness, the breath. Thank you for the beautiful incense that we've created from our herbs tonight. And we thank and release the guides and guardians of the East as well. And with that, our circle is complete. For Lammas. And to the Persephone, thank you for that, Saya, in all of us, right? Yvonne's asking for prayer tonight. Certainly Yvonne will be holding you in this space. And I hope that tonight's ceremony was helpful for you too, because I'll tell you something. The energies of tonight, remember that everything in our universe is polar, right? Everything has an opposite. And the energies of grief are the same as the energies of creation. It's just the opposite. And so it's on a spectrum. And so if you're too much in grief, then you have to get back to energies of creation, which is exactly what we did tonight. So honestly, tonight's ceremony, if I was like designing a ceremony for you, Yvonne, I probably would have designed something like tonight. So just know we're here with you and holding you tightly. Really, really grateful that you're here. Can you believe we've been celebrating harvest together since 2011? It just blows my mind. Sage Goddess turned 9 last year, and I was realizing I think this is my 9th Lammas ceremony with you guys. Each year I try to make it a little bit different, but the energies are kind of fundamentally the same. So it's a little bit of revisiting something, but every year I'm different. Every year I think I'm better, I continue to evolve and learn and grow. So it was really beautiful to have you in the space tonight. I'm going to flip the camera and blow out my candle with you. Okay, so I have exciting news. Are you ready? Aurora perfume, by the way, is on its own in the shop. Everything's 19% off today with your code GOLD19. If you happen to get your tools for next month before midnight, did you see this today? I have the most incredible Moldavite and double Vogel with peridot, sterling silver and 14 karat gold wand, and it comes on a custom stand made for it. So this is a $1,000 retail. I've never had a double Vogel Moldavite wand. The thing is like buzzing in my hand. And so you don't need a code. All you have to do is make sure you get your Maybon tools before midnight. And then I'm going to go back through those orders and choose a winner and mail this to you with your tools for next month. Isn't that cool? So don't forget your code. It's GOLD19. Half the kits are left. Half sold out before we went live. So half of the tools for next month are left. We will not be able to make more because our team is working as hard as they can, but we can only make it what we can make. So we won't be able to make more once they sell out. If you want one right when we're done, you should get your set after tonight's session. But if you're willing to stay for another 5 minutes, can I give away some crystals? I usually don't do this, but I had this huge inspiration. GOLD19 is the code. Team SG will put the link up for you for the set and for Aurora perfume and remind you of the code in the feed so that I can talk to you about giveaways for a minute. Okay, so this is natural mookaite jasper, which comes from Australia. Isn't it beautiful? They're kind of wet because I put oil on them. I didn't lick them. This is oil. And this is the stone, actually, that a lot of people work with for eternal youth and beauty. People call it the stone form of Botox, okay? But it's also considered to be Persephone's stone. And so I'm going to give away 3 pieces tonight. And these have been, like I said, anointed in our ceremony. So if you need some Persephone medicine from me from tonight, can you comment? And I'm going to give them away right now. I'm so excited to give away some Persephone medicine. And I love stones that only come from one place in the world. You can't find mookaite jasper anywhere else except Australia. And why? I don't know. I don't know why Gaia said, you know what, this stone, only from Australia. I would tell you, and I think most Australians would tell you, Australia is just better. I've been to Australia about half a dozen times, and I did not want to come home. I spent months there, and I did not want to leave. So anyway, I've got a little mookaite magic for you tonight. Okay, so the first piece, I got the first intuitive hit for Gina Glendening. Gina Glendening, I'm going to send you this piece. Looks like a little triangle, doesn't it? Like a little doorway. So that's for Gina. I'm going to sit your piece right here. Okay, and then next, let's see who else is feeling called to it. I'm just going back into the feed. I like wrinkles, though. I have to say, I've really tried to embrace my aging process. They're wisdom lines. Yeah, well, its connection to Persephone is that eternal youth and beauty medicine. It's considered a stone of Persephone and also a stone of Venus. Isn't that fun? No, so Carrie, if you got the next kit today, you're already entered to win the wand. The kit just went live today, so if you bought that kit today, then you're already entered. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, next piece is going to, you ready? Nicole Mezzatasta. What a beautiful name, Nicole. Nicole Mezzatasta is getting this piece. Looks like there's a C on it. Do you see that? It's interesting. It's like a little wave or a little C on your piece. So this piece is for Nicole. And then let me choose the last piece. Ooh, this is a cool one. This is a wishing stone. It has a line all the way around it. When you have a line that goes in a complete circle all the way around, it's almost there. I'm going to call it a wishing circle. I think this is a wishing stone. So this is the third piece I'm going to give away tonight. Let's see. You guys having fun? It's fun, isn't it? All right. Oh, I'm so glad, Laura. Let's see. The feed goes fast and I'm trying not to lose you. Okay, where's Annette? Annette said it's her 54th birthday. And so Annette, I'm going to gift this one to you as your 54th birthday present. Happy birthday to you, Annette. 54 is a magical year. It adds up to 9, right? And a 9 year is the completion of cycles. And so I want you to make a wish when you get your piece. This is for Annette. I want you to make a wish when you get your piece for the next year ahead. And I'm going to make a wish for you, Annette, into this piece. I'm going to wish that because your spirit guides are telling me, Annette, that there's something really big that you've been wanting to accomplish this year. I don't know what it is, but it's a goal that you have. And so I'm gonna set the intention that you are able to achieve that goal in the year ahead. It's something of a dream come true is what I'm hearing for you. So happy birthday to you, Annette, beautiful Leo sister. I hope that brings you a lot of joy in this magical 54th year. Very excited for you. All right. Are you ready to be done with me, darling? I'm going to tell you something. Don't get too excited because you're going to see me on Monday. So Monday night, I'll be right back here at 6 p.m. for, guess what? Full moon. So tonight we have Llamas ceremony. Thank you for being here again. Monday night we have full moon. Tuesday from 3 to 6 in my living room with Dave for our gem sale. Wednesday, Soul Shift, we have class and live readings. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me over the next 4 or 5 days. I hope you've buckled up and you're ready for that. Excuse me. Again, good luck, everybody, because I don't have any other wands like her. So if you would like to win this wand, you have till midnight. It is 7:30. You have 4.5 hours to get your tools for next month. I do want to show them to you really quickly before I sign off. This is part of your kit for next month. Is it the cutest thing? So the kit that you're buying to enter to win comes with your Maiden candle with Demeter on the front, you get 3 packages of herbs, because we're going to be making another batch of incense together next month. You're going to be getting olive leaf, which is for motherhood. You're going to be getting Banisteriopsis caapi, which is actually half of the ayahuasca tea. And then you're going to be getting corn silk, which is also used to represent the energy of nurturing. Then you're going to get everything you need. Check this out. I made mine with the exact supplies you're getting. You're going to get a vintage brooch, rhinestones. Sorry, my glue kind of got stuck. And then you're getting chipstones, just like that, and the shell. And you're getting a piece of Palo Santo that's been infused with our fall equinox essential oil blend. Isn't that cute? I made my little sample today and I had so much fun. So we're going to be doing this together. Then on top of that, you are getting your dram of essential oils. The blend for next month is called Nona. And those are the oils that have been infused into your Palo Santo. And then you're getting your next incense jar with a dendritic agate cabochon on the front for spiritual manifestation. Isn't that fun? So the candle, the perfume, the jar, the herbs, the shell, the Palo Santo, the brooch, the rhinestones, and all the chipstones are $69, and then they're 19% off with your code GOLD19, and you're entering to win the wand. Good luck. Isn't that fun? I had so much fun making my little shell. I'm going to be using this forever. It's the cutest little thing, or you can store your jewelry in there. Everybody's getting a different brooch, by the way. These are some of the other ones that are going out. Like, isn't that pretty? I just think that's the coolest thing. I thought this one was really pretty too. Some of them are small. They're all antique vintage brooches that we're sending you. So everybody's shell is going to look just a little bit different. Pretty little pink rose. So happy shopping. Aren't they fun? My team has a lot of fun alongside me putting these kits together. I mean, it's kind of like, if we think about our dream tools, when I was younger in my practice, I would have given anything to have Lammas tools like we have now and Maiden tools. So it's really fulfilling for me too to create these things and to bring them to you. Tonight's cabochon, green zebra jasper, the wild woman stone. Next month's cabochon, white dendritic agate, which some people call the Gandalf stone. They really do. It's the wizard stone for spiritual manifestation. Isn't that fun? All right, you guys, have a beautiful rest of your night. Thank you for being there. Don't forget you have until midnight to win the wand. And I will look forward to seeing you Monday night for full moon. I want to thank Hannah, Alexis, and Claire for all being there tonight. I love you and appreciate you and miss you very much. And I'll see you soon. Happy harvest, everybody. Thank you.